Hey guys, as promised, I have a few recipes that I'm going to show you today. Sundays are the days that I typically do my grocery shopping and meal prepping for the week. Today I'm making sweet potato gnocchis. I've had a lot of people asking for the recipe for that, so we're definitely doing that on camera today. I've got a few other things on the go. I've got some green bell peppers that I'm going to stuff. It's going to be like a Philly cheesesteak stuffed bell pepper. And I've got a mixture happening on the stove right now for a spaghetti squash chicken chow mein. So the chow mein and the stuffed peppers we're going to rotate for our lunches this week, and the gnocchis we're going to have for dinner one or probably 2 nights. I think I've got enough here for 2 nights for everybody. So anyways, I'll just kind of take you around and show you what I've been up to. I've been in the kitchen now for not quite an hour, and I've got all my main prep done, so I don't have to worry about running back and forth while I'm on camera. So I'll show you a few things here. I've got my bell peppers already on the pan. All the seeds and core from the insides are out. I've got cheese grated for that. And over in my Instant Pot, I love this thing, I sauteed my onions and I've added my steak. I've cut into strips and I've spiced it up with some salt and pepper, some garlic, onion powder, and just got that going. So I've got it all browned in there. I'm just gonna put the lid on and let it go on manual for, I don't know, about 10 minutes. And it's just gonna really tenderize it. If you don't have an Instant Pot, you can easily use your crock pot if you need to, or if you have some time, you could simmer it on the stove top just so it's nice and tender. I buy a really cheap cut of steak just because I can tenderize it myself, and that's no problem. So I'm just gonna set my Instant Pot here to manual for, I don't know, I'm gonna try 10 minutes and just do a natural steam release. Essentially what an Instant Pot is an electric pressure cooker. Just cooks things a lot faster. Over on this side, I've got in my pan onions and celery. That's getting ready for my chow mein. So what I've done is I've actually bought pre-cut cabbage and carrots. They call it coleslaw, this stuff here. I'm just gonna dump that in. Saves me from cutting up a huge big cabbage. I find them to be a pain in the butt to cut. And this just saves me a bunch of time. So there we go, it's all in. Just gonna continue sauteing that. The other thing that I'm going to add to my chow mein, which I've done ahead of time, is this lovely sauce. All it is I've used Bragg's all-purpose liquid seasoning, soy seasoning, this stuff here. I use that in place of soy sauce. It's just better. I've also added some organic coconut palm sugar. I use that for the little bit of sweet instead of regular refined sugar or anything like that. There's garlic in there, there's fresh ginger in there, a little bit of pepper. I don't add any salt because the Bragg seasoning is salty enough on its own. And over here, I've also got my dinner for tonight on the go. There's onions and mushrooms, some steaks, yum. So back over here, I'm gonna get started with the gnocchis while all that stuff goes. So like I said, the inside, the filling for the bell peppers is on the go. The filling for the chow mein is on the go. Oh, and I've also got my spaghetti squash all cut in half. It's all seeded and it's baking in the oven while we do everything else. So I'm just gonna set you guys here. Hope you're not dizzy from me rushing you around the kitchen. So what I've got in the bowl here is, earlier this morning while I was having coffee, I peeled and cubed my sweet potatoes and boiled them just till they're soft so I can mash them, just like mashed potatoes. So I've got them all mashed in the bowl. Now, I don't have a specific recipe for my gnocchis. I was taught by an authentic Italian family how to make gnocchis, and it's all done by texture and feel. So how they showed me, of course, was with just white potatoes, white flour, eggs, salt and pepper, just very basic. So what I've done today is I'm trying that same recipe, but I'm swapping out some healthier ingredients so we can still enjoy it on, our healthy lifestyle thing that we're doing here. So anyways, I've got the sweet potatoes and I've got a spelt flour that I'm going to use today instead of a white flour. It's healthier, it's whole grain, so we'll give that a shot and see how it goes, see if the kids notice. I'm gonna add 2 eggs directly to my sweet potato. And I'm just gonna mix it in by hand. So make sure you're not wearing any rings, no watches, anything like that. It's kind of like super gooky, so I try to use just one hand and get it all mixed in really well together. And then I'll use my other hand to pour in some of that spelt flour. So you can see there, we've got it nicely mixed up and smooth for the most part. There's some lumps in there, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna pour in some spelt flour. I would say half a cup or so to start. And I'm just gonna mix that in by hand until we create a nice dough. So this dough, you're gonna actually be able to roll out into long ropes. So I'm adding another half a cup. I add about a half a cup at a time so I don't overdo it, because if you overdo it, then you gotta add more egg and it's like you go back and forth and back and forth. So just add a little bit at a time and see how it goes. So once it gets to this point, it starts getting really sticky. So that's when I grab a wooden spoon and continue mixing. I've actually got a flat wooden, I don't know what it's called. It's kind of cool though. I'll show you right back. This thing. So it's just easier to kind of mix stuff around. So I just keep mixing, keep mixing. So we're gonna need a little bit more flour yet. So I would say the amount of sweet potatoes I used, I think I did about 4 or 5, like not huge sweet potatoes, but they're a fair size. And the 2 eggs. At this point, I'm gonna add some fresh cracked pepper and a little bit of salt, which my phone is leaning on. 1 second. I like to use a Himalayan pink salt. It has more minerals apparently than regular table salt. I've been told it's better, so that's what I'm using. That in there, we're gonna add some more of the spelt flour. Keep mixing, keep mixing. The only thing with gnocchis is they do take some time, and that's why I'm doing them today as opposed to after work, because after work through the week is just crazy busy for us. I'm typically out the door just after 5, so which means I'm up at about 4 in the morning and half-hour commute to work. I work till about 3, pick the kids up, and then commute home with the kids, you know, help them with their homework and sign agendas, get lunch boxes out, and then I go do my workout while the kids are playing for a bit, and then we get supper on the go, and by the time Jared gets home, we're all good to sit down and enjoy a meal together. So I don't have a ton of time for prep after work and stuff, so anything that I can do ahead of time on the Sundays is really helpful. Just about there, guys. Hang tight, just a couple more minutes here. Maybe not even a couple more minutes, but. So you can see here, it's starting to come together. I think the kids are definitely going to notice the color. It's not that nice white gnocchis, but they've been enjoying sweet potatoes more and more lately, so we'll be able to get away with this, pretty sure. All right, I think one more batch and we should be good to go. So I think the spelt flour, the only thing I'm noticing is it's being soaked up a little differently than regular flour. It's taking a little longer, or maybe it's the sweet potatoes. They're a little more moist compared to a regular potato. That's the only things I'm noticing here. Otherwise, it looks like we're coming to the texture. That'd be all right to use. Yeah, so just about there. When you can start rolling it into the nice long ropes, that's when you know you've got the right texture. So we're still not quite. And this is the point where I'm gonna get rid of this thing, and my hands are gonna get messy, but I need to use my hands to really feel that texture, that I'm getting it right. So obviously you can't feel the texture, you're not here to do that, but I can show you, like I said, just that rope. If you're able to roll out a nice rope on the counter, that's the key. Kind of hoping I'll be able to edit this video afterwards to take out this long mixing period, so you don't have to stand here and wait while I'm doing it all, but in any case, we'll get it sorted. I think I might have just about used that entire thing by the time we're done here. Ah, there she comes. So I guess, yeah, just a nice, it's a soft dough. It's not a bread dough by any means. I'm getting my shirt all messy. I'm terrible for that. I should be wearing an apron, but for whatever reason, I never remember to put one on at my home kitchen. When I'm at work, I always have one on, but oh well. Okay, so here you can see we've got a nice ball of dough. It's still a little bit sticky. That's normal. We're going to put down a little bit of flour on the counter before we roll them. So I'm just gonna go wash my hands. Hang tight. All right, so now I'm gonna try and get the phone situated so you can see what I'm doing on the actual counter. I'm going to line just a cookie sheet with some parchment paper. I'm not baking them, but I find this the best way to get them into the freezer. After I've made them, I like to freeze them just because I don't know when I'm gonna use them all. So it just works out easier for us, and then I'm not obligated. I don't have to use them right away. They're there when I need them. So I'm gonna move my phone down here. So you can see on the counter, I've got just a little bit of that spelt flour. And we're just gonna literally roll this into ropes. Now, it's not a huge deal. I don't know like what the standard is, or if there's like a rule of thumb for, you know, gnocchi sizes or anything, but this is just the way I was taught. So once you get it out into a nice long rope like that, you just start cutting pieces. I would say, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch to an inch wide. And you don't have to take a ton of time. They don't have to be completely uniform. That's the beauty of homemade gnocchis. They look homemade. So once you've got all these little pieces, then the trick is to use a fork. If you just cook your gnocchis like this, they're super smooth. You put your sauce on them, the sauce slips off, it's not as good. You want to create little pockets for your sauce to soak up and kind of pool in. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to like press the fork in part way and just roll it. So then once it's done, you can see it's got that little divot in it. So you can just do them quick on the countertop, or you can hold them and do it that way. It's whatever works for you. Some people will actually, I've seen them like just flick them off the end of the fork like that. So it's, yeah, whatever works for you. So once you've got all those done, you can just drop these directly into boiling salted water. Timing isn't very long. It's just basically, I would say about 5 minutes until they're floating to the top. Again, I don't have a recipe for this. I just do it the way I was shown how to do it. And that's about it. So yeah, I don't think there's much else I can tell you. Use your favorite pasta sauce on these. And yeah, I don't have much else to tell you guys. I'm gonna stuff my peppers afterwards with the onion and steak filling and top it with cheese, bake them in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes. Once my spaghetti squash comes out and cools a bit, I'm gonna get that into my frying pan with the celery and onions and the cabbage and carrots, and then I'm gonna put the sauce in, get that all going. And gnocchis I'm gonna freeze for tonight. I'm gonna get my supper on the go, and that'll be it. I've been in the kitchen now for a total of just a little over an hour at this point. To get all my prep done to this point has been 1 hour and 10 minutes. By the time I finish all my gnocchis, this will probably take me a good 20 minutes, half an hour to finish the amount that I have. You know, another 5 minutes to stuff my peppers, 10 minutes at the stove with the spaghetti squash, getting that mixture done, chicken breasts into the oven. I would say I'm going to spend a total of about 2 hours, and I've got lunches for the entire week for my husband and myself. I've got tonight's dinner, and I've got 2 more nights worth of dinners with the gnocchis. That saves me a ton of time through the week. My biggest advice to you if you're meal prepping, do everything that you can in one go. If you can get all your prep done at once, do everything that can wait first. So for example, I did my spaghetti squash first, threw them in the oven, cut the bell peppers in half and seeded and cored them, got them on the pan. They can wait while I'm doing other things. Chop all my vegetables, my onions, my celery, for the other dishes. Do other things to save you time. Use pre-minced garlic if you need to. Use pre-chopped cabbage if you need to, if that saves you time. I've shredded my mozzarella. You can buy shredded mozzarella. It all depends, on how much money you want to spend or how quick you want to do something. Once you're ready to do your meal prepping in the kitchen, just have a plan. Think about it before you get into the kitchen. Plan out, okay, I've got these 3 recipes that I need to do. I can chop all these vegetables at once. I can do all this at once. I can have all the frying stuff happening in this pan and that pan at once. And then, while that stuff's going, I can be making gnocchis. So it's just a matter of multitasking. Have it super planned before you start, and it's going to go off without a hitch. If you need any help meal planning or just timing ideas or recipes, let me know what you're looking for. Let me know what you guys need help with. I'll try and do a video. I'll try and help you out best I can. Like I said, I'm in the kitchen every Sunday. I own a restaurant. I'm in the kitchen all the time. Chances are I've probably got a really good tip for you, and if I don't, I can probably find one for you. So anyways, that's it for me today. Hope you guys have a great night. Hope you had a great weekend, and enjoy the week. See you later.